Imagine a young king, not only tasked with the immense responsibility of ruling a kingdom during one of history's most turbulent eras, but also grappling with a relentless, incurable disease. This was the extraordinary reality of Baldwin IV of Jerusalem, a monarch whose story defies the norms of medieval kingship. Diagnosed with leprosy as a child and ascending the throne in his teenage years, Baldwin's reign was a saga of unexpected triumphs and heartbreaking struggles. In a time when physical prowess and unblemished appearance were prized, his journey challenges our perceptions of strength and leadership. In the year 1161, a future king was born into the royal family of Jerusalem. Baldwin IV, the son of Amalric I, king of Jerusalem, and Agnes of Courtenay, was welcomed into a world of privilege and power. His early years unfolded in the grand halls and lush gardens of the royal palace, where he was nurtured and groomed for a future role in leadership. Educated by the finest tutors, Baldwin was well versed in the arts of governance, warfare, and diplomacy, skills essential for a future king of a crusader state. However, Baldwin's life took an unexpected turn at the tender age of 9. What began as a seemingly innocuous incident during a play revealed a startling truth. Young Baldwin, engaged in a harmless game with his peers, displayed no reaction to a painful injury to his arm. This lack of sensation, initially bewildering, was soon identified as a symptom of a dreaded and poorly understood disease: leprosy. Leprosy in the 12th century was more than a mere illness. It was perceived as a manifestation of divine judgment, a physical mark of moral and spiritual corruption. The diagnosis was a shocking blow, not only to the young prince but also to the entire kingdom. A leper, according to the beliefs of the time, was unfit to mingle with society, let alone lead it. The stigma attached to leprosy was profound and pervasive. People afflicted were often exiled or forced to live in leper colonies, isolated from the rest of the community. For the royal family and the court of Jerusalem, Baldwin's diagnosis presented a crisis of unprecedented magnitude. The future king of Jerusalem, a realm at the crossroads of the world and in constant threat from external forces, was now a leper. Questions and uncertainties loomed large. How could a boy, marked by such a disease, inherit the throne? What would become of the kingdom under the rule of a leper king? Despite his illness, Baldwin IV ascended to the throne in 1174, at the age of 13, after the death of his father. Many doubted his ability to rule effectively due to his condition. Yet with the support of his mother and key advisors like William of Tyre and Raymond III of Tripoli, Baldwin began to demonstrate a keen understanding of statecraft and military strategy. His reign was a constant battle to prove his capability as a sovereign. One of the defining moments of Baldwin IV's reign was the Battle of Montgisard in 1177, where his forces achieved a significant victory against the Muslim army led by Saladin. Despite being outnumbered, Baldwin's strategic acumen led to a decisive win, boosting the morale of the Crusader states. His leadership during this period was not just about military might. It was also about navigating the complex alliances and rivalries within his kingdom and with neighboring states. Baldwin IV's management of his kingdom was remarkable, especially considering the progression of his leprosy. He was involved in the administration of justice, the maintenance of infrastructure, and fostering relations with both Christian and Muslim states. His reign was a delicate balancing act of diplomacy and internal governance. Leprosy profoundly affected Baldwin IV, both physically and psychologically. Over time, it impaired his mobility and sight. However, it was the social and religious stigma attached to leprosy that posed a greater challenge. In an era when lepers were often ostracized, Baldwin had to overcome not just the physical limitations of his disease, but also the perceptions of his people and nobility. The question of succession was a major concern during Baldwin IV's reign. His sister, Sibylla, was his initial heir, but her marriage choices and the birth of her son created a complex situation. Baldwin's efforts to ensure a smooth succession were undermined by court politics and the factions vying for power. After his death in 1185, the kingdom fell into a period of instability, hastening its eventual downfall. Baldwin IV's legacy is a tapestry of valor, tragedy, and human endurance. He is remembered as a wise and brave king who led his kingdom through some of its most challenging times. His story has been romanticized in literature and film, often highlighting his struggle against leprosy as a metaphor for his battle against the adversities of his reign.